Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talk Tottenham here with your host Tom. Guys, I'm giving you instant live match reaction from Tottenham Hotspur's 3-0 defeat in this evening's Premier League game at Fulham. And yeah, guys, I'm not gonna hold back in this one. That was a dreadful performance from Tottenham tonight, from minute to end. We just didn't get going in that game, and as well as Fulham played, and they did play well. You can't be losing to a team like Fulham, really. But yeah, like it was just dreadful. It really was. Everything about it. You could tell. You can quite easily tell with Spurs, to be honest. In games, you can tell quite early doors if we're at it or not. And I knew within the first sort of 5-10 minutes, we were second to everything. We didn't want it enough. Our passing was awful all night. There were so many stray passes, particularly from Basuma and Sarr and Johnson and Kulusevski, and the list just goes on and on and on. And it's further indication, guys, for me that we're nowhere near being the finished article, are we? And as I've said in other videos, it does sometimes feel with Spurs like it is two steps forward, one step back, all the time, all the time. And I don't want to go I don't want to go in too hard on the boys, because overall it has been a good season, but it's been littered with performances like this occasionally. And the truth of it is, guys, is you just can't have these sort of performances if you want to achieve the sort of things that we want to. And the reality is, guys, isn't it? We want a trophy, and we want to see progression at the club. We want Champions League football, but mainly we want a trophy. And we were at, tonight is just, it doesn't fill you with any sort of encouragement at all. When the going gets tough for Spurs, invariably we come up short. We always do. We always do. And as I say, look, it's been better this season. It's been a good season on the whole. I think, you have to applaud what Ange has done. But I don't know why. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it, really, why we still come up with these performances. It's like the Brighton performance when we went down 4-2 and we were 4-0 down in that game. You know, other performances as well, like we didn't really turn up against Wolves. And even, to be honest, I've said it before, guys, as well, even some of those wins that we got recently, Brighton at home, Brentford at home, did we really deserve them? Probably not, to be honest. They could have easily ended a draw. So I think, in all honesty, to be honest, I think I don't want to be too negative. I think there's going to be a lot of negativity from the fan base after this, and you're going to get the clowns again as usual coming out saying Ange out and Johnson out and Kulusevski out, and it's just pathetic, that they're not proper fans. They're just so reactionary, and next week we'll win and they'll all be heroes again, and then the week after they want them out the club. They're just Twitter fans. But I'm being honest, guys. For myself, I am really disappointed with that. Really, really disappointed. Um, I think the Villa game obviously gave us a lot of optimism. I think all Tottenham fans really were expecting us to carry on the momentum and to carry it on. And I don't know why. I've got no idea, to be honest, why we didn't turn up tonight. Every single one of them just looked a yard off it, and the passing. And Basuma has. I don't think we've ever really truly seen that the Basuma, have we? That after the sending off at Luton, we haven't really seen him. We haven't really seen him, and I think we've really got to try and get Bentancur back in form. Um, Incidentally, I thought he looked pretty good, to be honest, when he came on, Bentancur. But I don't want us, to be honest, to see us persisting with Basuma. He's got all the qualities. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a good player, but he's so out of form. It's ridiculous. He's so out of form, and even Pat Matasar tonight didn't have a good game. His passing was really bad as well, and when Basuma and Sarr are on it and they're doing well, they team up really well. But the truth of it is, guys, is other than the Villa game last weekend, we haven't really seen Basuma and Sarr playing well together for a long time. So I think we've got problems as a team with that double pivot in the midfield. We haven't really struck the balance. Højbjerg has done okay in patches this season, but we know he's not the answer. So that's why I'm saying let's try and persist with a Bentancur, or I still think I don't know what you guys think, but Lo Celso, I think he's okay. We need to try and get him in form. I thought he actually did quite well in that run of games that he was playing earlier this season, especially in the City game. But I'd be looking at trying to get a Bentancur and Sarr partnership in the midfield, because Basuma, I'll say it again, and I don't want to go in too hard on him, but his form has literally fallen off a fucking cliff. And I didn't want to go in. I didn't want to go over the top, but I'm really angry, guys, with that performance. And it's just false dawn sometimes, and it's so disappointing. It's so disappointing, when it looked like we were building up a head of steam. I know we had the Wolves performance, which was a bad performance, but overall the form's been pretty good. I think it's only three defeats in like 13, but it does, as I said before, guys, it doesn't fill you with any encouragement whatsoever. It really doesn't. And I've got no idea. After the week that we've just had, you would have expected the players to be bouncing in training, the energy to be high. I'd like to have thought that the training sessions would have been high intensity. And one thing that I wanted to say, guys, I was thinking about it during the match. I don't want to forget that I'm going to say this, is are we really that dependent now on Mickey van der Ven? Because to me, it feels like we are, to be honest. And I don't want to go in too hard on Dragusin. I thought he did okay, but let's be honest, guys. Let's call the spade a spade. The drop off is clear. I'm not saying it's a drop off in terms of a Dyer or a Sanchez, but Dragusin did okay tonight, but some of his passing was pretty dodgy at times. I thought he held onto the ball quite well and showed a bit of composure. But, we're so reliant now on Van der Ven, because of his pace, because of his covering abilities and the way that we use him. And I think he's basically turned into probably our most important player now. And you could just see. Yeah, but having said that, guys, I can't pin the whole performance on Van der Ven not playing. I think it would be. I thought from back to front tonight, I thought we were an absolute disgrace. We looked nervous, didn't get going. The passing was astray from everyone. I can't. I can't really explain, guys, to be honest, why every so often we have these occasional performances. And I say it again. Generally speaking, the performances have been so much better this season. The style of football's been so much better. I hated us under Conte. I hated Conte. I hated Mourinho. But now we can actually get behind the manager, but it's so disappointing, guys. It's so disappointing that every so often we're seeing these types of performances, because you can't be I don't want to show any disrespect to Fulham. I thought they played really, really well tonight. They did. They played really, really well. But without disrespecting them, you can't be losing to teams like Fulham. You can't be losing to teams like Brighton and Wolves. We've done pretty well against the better teams this season, but these slip ups are going to prove costly. And I think it's lucky, to be honest, guys, that it might be five places that gets us into Champions League, because after tonight's performance, I think it's either going to be fourth or fifth, and United are still not. They're not going to go away as well. They're gonna fancy it after watching us tonight as well. So, and to be honest, I'll say it now. If we end up finishing the season in sixth and qualifying for the Europa League, I would be really angry with that. After the performance, after the season that we've had, if we don't qualify for the Champions League now, it's going to be a real big disappointment, guys. And if we do qualify for the Champions League, I want to see us kick on. I want to see us investing in the squad, and I don't want us to see us just stall in. And we did have a good transfer window last summer, but clearly, as I said, as I started off this video, guys, we're not the finished article, not by a long way. And I think there's I, even to say there's holes in the team, I don't think there are holes in the team. I think the squad is really balanced, but I think I think after watching tonight's performance, we're still just lacking that mentality to get over the line in these games, and it hasn't gone from the club still. And just changed it a bit. No, he hasn't changed it a bit. He's changed it a lot, but we're still not there. We're still not there yet, and it's really, really disappointing, guys. I'm gutted. I'm really, really gutted with that performance. But look, now it's going to be a really, really long 2 weeks with the international break, and then we entertain Luton at home, which, to be honest, now looking at that game, guys, it ain't going to be an easy game, because Luton are fighting for their lives, and what I thought was going to be an easy 3 points before, it's going to be a tricky one, guys. To be honest, that one is going to be a really, really tricky game, and Luton are going to be playing for their lives. But I don't know, guys. To be honest, I don't really. I think we're still in an okay position. As I say, we're lucky if there's going to be 5 spots open in the Champions League this season, but it doesn't fill me with any sort of optimism, guys, for the rest of the season. That it really doesn't, and it's just undone all of the good work that we showed up at Villa Park last Sunday. We came away from that game. I was on cloud nine. I was waiting, really looking forward to the end of the season, the last sort of 10, 11 games. And then after tonight's performance, I'm just thinking, where do we go from here? So, guys, I'm not going to go on and on. I'm going to leave it there, but I'm really, really pissed off with that performance tonight. And, we're going to have to show a lot more character and a lot more of a backbone for the rest of the season if we're going to sneak into the top 4, because, fifth still might not be enough. And, Villa will be laughing at that performance, and so will United. And, we're going to have to, brush ourselves off over the next 2 weeks, and just got to try and figure things out again. But yeah, I'll leave it there, guys. Big disappointment tonight for Tottenham. 3-0 we've gone down at Craven Cottage, and it's a damaging defeat for our top 4 prospects. But guys, I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sorry it's not the video that I wanted to do, but such is life, such is the Premier League. You can't rest on your laurels. Every single game, guys, is a difficult game in this league, and it will be a difficult game against Luton at home in the next one, I promise you. And if we're not careful, we could get unbeaten by Luton in that game. That could be a real potential banana skin now. So, but hopefully we'll see a reaction. Guys, have a good rest of your weekend, and as always, come on you Spurs.